r/ask women, what's the worst well-intended romantic gesture a significant other ever did for you? My high school boyfriend was super broke, but I guess he didn't want to come empty-handed for our 2-year anniversary, so he got me a Christmas mug. It wasn't Christmas. My ex surprised me with a very pretty custom-made music box that plays the song Chim Chim Cheree from Mary Poppins. Chim Chim Cheree doesn't hold any special significance for me at all. I'm pretty sure I had never mentioned that song even in passing. So he spent considerable money on a custom music box, but didn't think to find out what songs I actually really love. You Are My Sunshine is my favorite music box friendly song, and he could pretty easily have found that out. At the time I told him I loved the gift, and even now I think it really is a beautiful music box. I'm just baffled about his thought process that made him decide, yes, this is the song she will want to hear every time she opens this box. It was just weird. We were out walking our dog and strolled past some flowers. He picked one and tried to place it behind my ear. The problem was he was also holding a bag of dog poop that was hitting against my face while he tried. My ex-BF actually. He could play the piano and had a keyboard at his parents' house. We were sitting on the bed and he grabbed his keyboard. He had to practice since he played for a church. It didn't sound bad at all actually. Then he asked me if he should sing for me, and I was like sure. I mean, no one sings worse than me, and I thought the rhythm was pretty nice. So suddenly he starts yelling, and I get freaked the F out. I can't even remember what he was singing, and I just wanted to burst out of laughing. I'm one of those persons that laughs when they get nervous, and I had to try my best not to hurt his feelings. After 20 secs he was still singing, and now he was also looking me straight in the eyes. I just wanted to die right there. My first boyfriend gave me a wooden box with a padlock on it for Christmas one year, handed me the key, and told me not to open it until I got home. I opened it, and inside was a little jar of his blood and a little jar of his tears. I was 17 and mortified. Also couldn't fathom how he got enough tears to fill a small jar, so I asked him. Turns out he'd plucked all his nose hairs and eyelashes to gather them. He told me had a surprise for me for Christmas. Was wrapped beautifully, and he taunted me with it for days, and then finally let me open it. It was a butt plug. I cried. He went home. Oh, this one I can do. Junior year in high school. Lunchtime. The dude I'd been dating for about a month has his pastor come to school and deliver a singing telegram to me with a song he wrote about our relationship and an ask to prom. Cringe. I love lilacs. My date tried to drive up to a bush of them on my side of the car while rolling down my window, and all of the branches just crashed through my open window, scratching me all over my face and arm. I looked messed up. He felt so bad. I laughed in the WTF was that kind of way. Oh, I also didn't know that's what he was doing, so to me, it was really WTF. My ex got my initials tattooed over his heart. He surprised me with it. I pretended to be flattered. We broke up a year later. I wonder if he still has that tattoo. My ex had to do a cover-up tattoo for his first ex-wife's name on his arm. He's needing another cover-up tattoo for the partial quote with his third ex-wife's name down his side. He should probably consider a cover-up for the name of his daughter with third ex-wife that he abandoned and has since been adopted by another man. He clearly never learned either, because he wanted a matching tattoo with me. My ex booked a surprise trip to Poland for my birthday, during which he also booked a trip to Auschwitz. Had to wake up at 6 AM on my birthday to spend the majority of my 21st birthday at a death camp and being given a tour of gas chambers. I was in my late teens, and it was my first birthday in a proper, in-love relationship. My boyfriend had gotten me all excited talking about how I'd love the present he'd bought me. I had visions of something meaningful to us, like gig tickets, or a book by an author we both liked. Turned out my main present was a singing, dancing, robotic doll of James Brown which played I Feel Good when you clapped your hands. For full disclosure, I'd never given him the impression I was a James Brown fan. It was completely out of the blue. I don't think I've ever been so lost for words as when I ripped open the wrapping paper to be greeted by the big rubber face of that creepy dancing doll. To be fair, he was a great guy and was completely bemused by my reaction. He genuinely thought it was the very thing to buy your girlfriend for her birthday. My ex-boyfriend surprised me and took me ice skating at Rockefeller Center for Christmas once. It was a really sweet idea, but he had said we were going to a show, so I was not dressed warmly at all. I was wearing a dress, tights, and a lighter but formal jacket, with no hat, gloves, or scarf. I was so cold after we had been on the ice for about 20 minutes that my lips turned blue and we had to leave. The thought behind it was really cute, but it would have gone so much better if I had been dressed appropriately. My first serious boyfriend in high school gave me a little wooden pig, my favorite animal, and told me to open it in front of his parents, brother and extended family. Inside was half of a best friend's necklace, his way of saying we could still be friends. Yes, people of Reddit dumped me using a Christmas gift. For our first Christmas as a married couple, my husband went last minute shopping at Costco. I ended up with pillows, towels, and granny panties. In the beginning of our relationship, he went on a trip to Rome with his family. He brought back some shoes for me, a 6'1" woman. He was so excited when he handed over those pretty nice size 6 slippers. It was hard to break to him that I loved them, and I loved the gesture, but I'm a giant and a size 10.5. Why did he just guess at your shoe size? He's trying to find his Cinderella. My husband is such a goof, but sweet, but not what I'd call romantic. He's very practical, so instead of giving me Valentine's Day presents or flowers every year, he gets the oil changed in my car and leaves a note with a Valentine's theme. Sometimes it's a card if it's February that says oil is changed, love you. First few years I was like, seriously? Now I swoon, since I don't have to deal with the oil change place. Edit. I just told him a comment about him being practical and not romantic got me 2464 karma. He asked me what karma was good for. That's my man. Now ex, BF and I met while studying in Germany. I left to go back to the UK. He still had a few more months there until Christmas. Went back to Germany with a friend from home to visit BF and other friends a week or so before Christmas. We are flying into Hamburg, 2.5 hours by train to Hanover where we studied. No direct flights went to Hanover for us. Ex tells friend and I that we should pack one dressy outfit for a surprise. Okay. Land in Hamburg, get told not to get the train to Hanover. Instead go to Hamburg city center, get changed in the bathrooms of the train station and they will meet us there. BF and other friends show up, 6 of us in total now. Me, BF, home friend and 3 other friends. Surprise is they booked us tickets to see Phantom of the Opera. Wow, that's great. I've never seen it before and neither has my friend from home. Go to the theater. Realize the show is in German. Only me and one other person in our group speak German. Out of the other 4, 2 have seen the show so can somewhat follow the plot, but the other 2 have no idea what is going on. Then, to top it off, BF didn't realize how long the show went on for. If we stayed for the whole show, we would miss the last train back to Hanover and the next one wasn't till 4 AM. It's December, freezing and we have suitcases, so staying in a bar till then isn't really an option. We decide to leave the show at the interval and take the last train back. It was a sweet gesture, but I felt so bad he spent good money on those tickets and train fares only for nobody to enjoy the show. Also, the next day he had booked a brewery tour for 4 of us, and it was also in German, so I had to translate for the other 3 the whole time. I made a sarcastic comment about loving the sound of a didgeridoo. Guess what I got for Christmas that year? Before we started dating he gave me a Peppa Pig toy. I was like WTF, but I found it nice. To this day I keep it. Later in Valentine's Day, we were already together and gave another Peppa Pig toy. The first made noise, the second had lights on it. When he gave it to me, he said, "But honey, she shines." I love him. It was the first year where he was making over 6 figures. He'd received a healthy holiday bonus and he was bragging about how much he was spending on gifts for me, his family, and his clients that year because it was the first time we had the money to comfortably afford it. Hooray. One day on his way out of the office, he found earbuds someone had dropped on the floor in the elevator. He'd told me he was getting me new earbuds for Christmas, but these were similar, and he was sure that one of the earphones cutting in and out was just a short or something. What a Christmas miracle. He decided to give himself the new earbuds he'd ordered for me, and he gave me the earbuds he found on the ground, generously offering to let me pick out 2 rubber caps from his new set, so I wouldn't have to use the presumably dirty, presumably filled with another person's earwax ones that came with the floor earbuds that Mr. Big Spender had decided was his big fancy gift to me. He laughed at me when I asked why he didn't just turn them into the lost and found instead, and he was confused why I continued using my crappy old earbuds instead of the floor ones with one malfunctioning earbud. Stuff like this made me chuckle to myself at divorce court when he'd be making the sad eyes at me. My boyfriend bought me a men's jacket for Christmas. I was so confused, I had to ask why. His response: "You always like wearing my jacket so much, I figured you'd want your own." Or what? That is just adorably clueless. A lot of these remind me of a story my friend told me about her first Christmas as an engaged couple living together. She wanted a new winter coat for Christmas, like that's all she wanted. They were out shopping, and she found one she liked on sale, and told him to get it, and wrap it, and be done with it. He was like, "No, I don't want you to see me buying it, that ruins the fun. Plus I bet I can find a better deal." Christmas comes and she opens her gift. It's a coat. Except, it's her old one. He tells her to look in the pocket. She's thinking maybe it's the receipt for a new one that's being shipped. Nope. $100. He's all excited that she can pick out exactly what she wants now. My husband did something similar. I like those oversized sweaters from Iritza, so he decided to get me one for Christmas. When I opened it up, it was the exact one I already have. Probably just an oversight. He's not that observant sometimes. Except then he pipes up, "I know you already have this one, so you can just return it and get whatever one you really want. Thanks. For Christmas I'm getting you a chore." Took me to flower shop to get me bouquet of flowers in a heavy vase I had to carry to his apartment, where he said I should leave it. I was very uncomfortable about the whole thing and did tell him I didn't like how he went about it. It was just so weird. Whenever I got flowers from other guys they brought them to me and let me keep them lol. I had an ex set up a romantic scavenger hunt that was supposed to end up with me finding her in a hotel room that she had decked out with flowers, champagne, and her dressed all sexy for Valentine's Day. The hunt was basically clues she had left around the house, and I had to find each one to proceed to the next. I find all the clues and the last one has the name of the hotel she was at, with no room number. I drive the 15 minutes to the hotel. This was in the 90s, so no cell phone. Get there and ask if they have any reservations under my ex's name. "I'm sorry, we can't give out that info." I found her car in the lot, but because it was general parking, but I couldn't even begin to guess which room she may be in. I eventually ended up having to drive another 10 minutes, find a payphone, and call the hotel to speak to her. They patch me through, and she gives me the room number. It was a crazy amount of time and she even began to wonder if I was going to show up. It all turned out well in the end, and we had a good laugh over it, but that was a crazy hoop to jump through for some Valentine's romance. He went clothes shopping. He said, "I want to get you some shorts, because I know you need them." I said, "Please don't, because I can't always find good shorts that easily, and I want to pick them." He decided to do the grand gesture of buying me bright yellow ass cheek shorts. I don't wear yellow, and I prefer my ass cheeks covered. My husband got me some pajamas for our first Christmas as a married couple from Victoria's Secret. One of the pajama sets had a shirt that said single all the way. I was like, him. Hehe. My ex bought me a bunch of lingerie we couldn't afford from VS, and it was all too small. When I had to return it, the sales girls all remembered him and thought it was sweet, but I had to explain that he had bought this with our food budget for the month, and it didn't even fit. So could I please have it refunded to the payment method? Mortifying. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell for more. Thanks for watching.